see. Something is going to happen. Something wonderful.
My God, it's full of stars.
Hey there, everyone. Thank you for checking out the NY Patriot Show. If this is your first time coming across my channel or my podcast, thank you. That's awesome. I think you'll enjoy this. And you might as well just hit that sub button now, because you're just going to anyway. And if you are a returning listener, that's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you all. That's why I keep doing this stuff. If you want to show some love as a returning listener, because you like my stuff, hit that like and that share button. And I appreciate that very much. So the reason behind this episode, it's kind of close to Christmas. It's around the holiday time. Not that I actually really drink. Believe it or not, I really don't drink that much myself at all. I did when I was younger, but it's not something I really care for much nowadays. Like I was saying, it's getting close to the holidays, and I will be seeing family. So, sometimes I bring wine and stuff that they do like. I bring something anyway. And I was going through. It was one of those big, gigantic like wine places, and I just happened to be walking through and just looking at random stuff, as I was looking for what I had to get. And I'm just like looking down the aisles, glancing at stuff as I'm walking through, and like some of them I was just like, yo, what? Like some of the bottle labels, besides the stuff that I'm even going to show here, like some of the artwork on them even can be like almost like just creepy and very dark like. I saw some stuff like that, and I was like, God damn, like some crazy art and some of this stuff. I've never heard of any of these companies or this brand anyway, because I'm not much of a drinker. But then as I was, as I started walking through it more, and just a little bit of a background, if this is the first time you're coming across this show. I have studied occultism for a while. I guess I consider myself still a mystic. I still look into this stuff. I still study it to even put out more content, or I have to study it sometimes for the things I want to put out. And I do have experience as, studying occultism for a while. I was a ceremonial magician, ex-member of the OTO. So, with that said, there were things that started to catch my eye because of being into that stuff. And first off, I do want to explain this, when I was walking through the store and seeing these things and it was catching my attention, that is just because of stuff that I've studied, stuff that I've looked at, things that I've experienced in life. I don't know if I'm correct. I don't know if there's anything to these labels. I couldn't even tell you the artists who did them, so I don't know an explanation anyway, regardless. So I couldn't tell you why that design or that artwork is on there, but this is just my theory or my commentary on just some of the weird stuff that I saw. I won't be going into detail also about like what these things could technically be. Again, if you're a first-time listener, unfortunately you wouldn't know, but for the people that have been listening for a while, if they would probably already understand what I'm showing, because I'll be showing things that I have actually kind of covered in the past. And I guess, we'll go forward and we'll get it going. So, yeah, there were some, this will even have some bottles that I had seen while I was there. Took pictures of them and then ended up going online and trying to get better pictures of the bottles, show the label better. And some of them were other ones that I came across just kind of like digging around, or, what came up suggested when I was looking at that bottle. So, who knows, maybe there's something up with that as well. But there's definitely some decent ones in here that, this may seem boring at first and maybe a little silly, but there's a few gems in here that have actually made me think about possibly even looking into the company itself. Might be even more interesting, or might explain why the label is the way it is. All right, so enough about that. We'll get going. As you see here, we have Schrader. I just found that one interesting. We got a dragon breathing fire. It has a crown on it. Again, that all could just be, happen, coincidence. But, I mean, you kind of do see a lot of that, in my opinion. Occulted artwork, mystical artwork that might have, pretty deep meaning to it, stuff like that. I don't think that would be uncommon to see. And then next, we can't forget about Anubis. We got 3 different things of Anubis right there. I do think all of them, at least 2 of them, for a fact, are the same company. That one to the left might be different, or it might be a little from the same company, but we do got Anubis out there. And then we got coming up over here. Can't forget about Aphrodite. She's very important too. So we got 3 different types right there of Aphrodite. And just to even mention, I find it interesting that there is a seashell behind that one. Could mean something. Could be symbolism. And then Aries. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It definitely looks like, the god Aries. I find that to be interesting. Figured I'd throw that in. If we got Aries, we can't forget about Astarte. We got to toss her in there as well. We can't leave her out. These I thought were pretty cool. Astera, you could go look that up, but I think that does have something to do with Catholicism, possibly. I forgot what it actually was. It's a little interesting. I suggest checking it out if you find any of this interesting. This one depicted a lot of, I thought, kind of like mythological people and wars and stuff, And again, like, just like in the title, spirits, I mean, not to sound silly or grass, but I mean, even in Twin Peaks, I've shown how I think gasoline and alcohol can be kind of representation of spirits. So, maybe take into that, with consideration too, once it starts coming to alcohol, symbolism, and just weirdness about it. Then we got the Anubis and the Caduceus. We got both of those together, and on the bottom, you can see on the bottle, you can see that there is a Caduceus, and then there is a symbol in the middle, and it's got 353 in it. It's 2014 Anubis, Arizona. And then Binah. How could we forget about Binah? 3rd sphere on the Tree of Life. In case you have no idea, first-time listener, or even a repeat listener that hasn't heard the Kabbalah stuff that I've put out with the Occult Rejects, I highly suggest checking that out for the Kabbalah. It's pretty. I think it's like 3-4-part series on the Kabbalah. Binah is the 3rd sphere. That would be the top sphere on the left pillar on the Tree of Life. That is the first sphere of like the divine feminine energy. It's kind of like a head bitch in charge. That would be Binah. And if we're going to have Binah, Saturn also falls on that sphere as well in the Hermetic Kabbalah. So we can't forget about Kronos. And got Kronos with the CH. We got Kronos with the CR. That one even looks like it's got some kind of, interesting artwork there. Kronos with an elephant. The glasses. Quite interesting. Could mean something. And then we got the Kronos even with the K. So we got a bunch of Kronos right there for you. And then Hathor. Got 2 different brands right there of Hathor wine. It's another good favorite. If we're going to have Hathor, I mean, we can't forget about Hecate, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Gonna have her, we gotta have Hecate. Oh, and then we got here Hermes. Did you see this one? I mean, straight up, dude, Hermes. He's got the staff with him. This one I find interesting. Hermes, a boat, and then it has, an upside down red triangle made out of spheres. I guess because, like I mentioned before, from being in the OTO, there is, I guess, an OTO influence on the way I may look at things, because that's, I'm a little bit more experienced with that in a sense. So I guess the red down triangle, pointing downwards, red triangle, made me think about the OTO, because that is one of your little fucking Cub Scout patches. You get to wear at some point when you get up high enough on your little robe. So that doesn't mean I'm saying that that's what it is, but that just caught my eye. And then we got this other one up here, the other Hermes. Looks like, it's got the Caduceus right there as well. So 3 different Hermes. And here we have Hestia. It was a label. I don't really quite remember exactly what Hestia was, but if this is interesting you at all, I would just suggest go look up Hestia and see what it is. This one just found interesting. Chateau, 7 Rain, whatever. And you got a king's helmet. You got a bear, bears, beast, untamed beast. There's a lot of bears and certain pagan religions that comes up. You got the leaf. This could even be another crown, maybe an earthly crown. Wheat, in my opinion, I think can be shown as a crown in a sense in tarot and even possibly in Revelations, but it's a whole other thing. But then you got the cross here too, the crossing of paths, crossing of the streams. When it starts getting into the Kabbalah, I don't know, possibly could be wrong, but this one caught my attention. And then this one, I had almost went kind of on a. I was going to start posting a bunch, but I'll just say it instead of showing all of them. This spiral stuff is actually a huge, huge design that I noticed on a lot of different bottles. I thought this one just happened to be interesting. Colors of the sun, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors of the sun, 10 spheres of the, I don't know. And then you have red blend, another one with a lot of spirals. I know that could just be an artistic thing, but again, like I've said in the past, just from my experience with seeing, hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, occult symbolism, just seeing that symbol on stuff, it can, start getting into occultism. It can, in my opinion, I think, show like a downward spiral or show electromagnetic, stuff into magnetism, and, it can get out there. But, not saying that this does, but that these mean anything like that. But there is a lot of bottles out there with that design, and, could some of them be portraying that? You never know. And then these I thought was just pretty interesting because, Vignier's Occult, it's already got it in the name. And then you have Methods Sauvage, Occult Cab. And that looks like a freaking owl right there. That almost looks like the Bohemian Grove owl. And that is from 2016, California. So then we have this one. I don't even... Catina Zapata, Malblanc, Argentino. This shit, to me, that's just out there. There's so much going on this thing. This dude, he's the king, no skin. Again, even in occult symbolism, in my opinion, when you've reached the king, you've shed the flesh. So, what's all this guy got going on left? He ain't got that. He's got a crown on. All sorts of stuff in here. So, that one I was just like, yo, I got to show this one. That is really, really interesting to me. Then we have a bunch from these people. We have this one is I guess from the company Prophecy Cabernet Sauvignon 2016. This guy's got, I mean, almost like not an ankh, but it could be a tau, a circle. He's got the crown on. You know, you got outer space over there. You got the ram, the mountains. You got probably a king or the emperor in a sense. Could be tarot related. Then we got this one. We got a female figure. That could be, the Wheel of Fortune maybe. Could be wrong. Tarot maybe. Yeah. Check that image out. It's got a bunch of stuff. That would even make me think right here. Really, this could be the world, in my opinion. I think that is the World Tarot card right there on Prophecy Rosé 2017. And then we have the Fool. He's got the dogs with him. Gods backwards. Yeah, we got the Fool here. Prophecy again, 2014. I think we got another Prophecy coming up. Yeah, we got Prophecy Malbach, however you say that stuff. 2019. To me, I mean, it's got the infinity symbol or whatever you want to say that is up there, pointing up and the pointing below. I mean, I think that's quite obviously the Magician tarot card. So this one is just, I don't know. This one could just be weird, but I mean, when you start getting the electric bolts and like you got the roses, broken glass over where the pineal gland is, walking the glass like, damn it, I already forgot who that band was. God. They said something about walking the glass. They had that song, Epic. Faith No More. Then you got Crawling the Thin Ice with Pink Floyd, Trapped on the Ice with Metallica. A lot of things with glass, stained glass, ice, stuff like that, breaking. It's kind of, in my opinion, showing shattering of the pineal gland, possibly. Maybe breaking of those seals in a sense. You got the rose back there. Again, that could go back to the Maiden or the Scarlet Witch type figure. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff on here as well that I just find interesting. And even if it's not anything like specifically weird, this is weird anyway, so why not? Just check it out. We got Tears of Vulcan. Figured I'd add him in there. Don't want him to feel left out. We got two right here. Do not want to forget about Baal or Baal. Le Petit Baal, Baal. A Domaine de Baal or Baal. I mean, that's even if you were to take the symbol and turn it sideways in a sense, I do think that could almost even be butterfly wing-like. Baal could be represented as a butterfly. And even his seal, he does have a seal in the Goetia. In my opinion, does kind of look bug-like in a sense. This one, could just be some just weird out there artwork, but here you go. I have Altaland. I mean, I don't even know. Everything's flying. We got Pegasus here. We got some horse with a bird head, flying fish. There's a whole lot going on here that's just weird. So I just threw that in. Yeah, who knows? Could mean something. This one I just thought was interesting. We got that. Kind of just looks like, I don't know. It's interesting. We got the 7 deadly sins. That could just be, straight up coincidence. But, it does have the 7 and a halo on top right there, and it has the 7 sins mentioned. It is kind of funny that, I guess, alcohol could fall under those easily as being a problem. So it just seems pretty funny to have that on alcohol bottle. This one seems was interesting. Royal City from Washington State, Sierra. a lot of crown stuff. That is something I do want to add to. I do show crowns in here, and there are some that I would say are kind of like almost like family crests, things like that. We have gone over in the Occult Rejects. What is it? Sigils and talismans. A lot of family crests and stuff like that. I do think are kind of a talisman in themselves. So I do think some of those, have some deep meaning that we do not understand what it means, and the people who designed it, the person who did it, they sure get it. I'm positive, or whoever designed it had an idea that other people don't know. And they could quite possibly be that on a lot of bottles. But I did not go into a lot of those because they could just be, coincidence. So here we have, I don't know how you say that, Kuros or Kuros. Did notice a couple of bottles of those, and I was just like, that's interesting. It looks like it's Greek, whatever. And I happened to wonder what it was. And Kuros is a modern term given to a freestanding ancient Greek sculptures that depict nude male youth. They first appear in the Archaic period in Greece and are prominent in Attica, or I could be reading that wrong, and some other part. But as you can see there, that is an example of one of them. And I do think the ancient Greek word comes from, refers to youth, boy, and especially of noble rank. When a pubescent was received into the body of grown men as a grown Kronos, he could enter the initiation test of the brotherhood. And it was on the month of these rites, and Apollo was the, I don't know, sounds like the great Curios. So, there's stuff to go on with Apollo. If you want to read this, it's up on the screen. You can pause it. You can read the whole thing. I wasn't going into it, but, it does tie back to some, naked youth, boy, Apollo stuff. So, interesting. Then we got here, for all you Norse lovers, we got some Odin's Tears from Meadworks. We got Ferrell. Looks like a Viking chopping off a boar's head. And we got some apple mead for you. I thought the Odin's Tears was really the more interesting one, so that's why I included those. We can't forget about Amun-Ra, right there, that eye. And if we're going to have him, we might as well toss in Asmodeus, who is another demon from the Goetia, Asmodeus. And if we're going to include those, those two, why stop and forget Azazel? We got 2 bottles right there. That was a Azazel. Let me go back. There we are. Yep, Azazel, 2 of them. And then right here, we got Phoebus. This one could be just, some random artwork, like a lot of these bottles all could be, and I could just be completely wrong. But I did find this star interesting, and then over here, I just, to me, it's like you turn it sideways because that'd be 33, or it could be nothing. But I just found the star and that other bottle and that MMC just, for some reason, made me think something. And we got some Leviathan, California, red wine. Then we got this guy, Vino Nobile, whatever, whatever. You can look it up on here. There is a bunch of labels, I think, if I'm correct, going forward, that are from this company. This one I found interesting. Then, you got the eagle up there. Looking to the left, you have, the 3 circles. That even, again, that goes into symbolism. I'm sure you've seen another pagan beliefs. And that does even almost kind of, as crazy as it sounds, it's a little bit like the dolphin's brain. So, who knows? But again, it could just be a random piece of art. And then this one here, it's a guy on the horse, the sword out, a white and red checkered thing, riding the horse. I've seen horses a lot in symbolism for things, so just thought that this was interesting and threw it in there. We have Bonanza, California, Lot 4. This one, it kind of looks like, a dude standing there on the path. He's got a staff in his hand, and here at the pinnacle, at the peak of these mountains, is the illumination coming out from behind, and in a seashell shape. This one, Castle, Lion, Leo, King. Could that be the balanced energy at Tiferet? Leo is associated with Tiferet. That is the sphere and on the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, where at that point you will be coming into contact with your holy guardian angel, a.k.a. Could be higher self, God. There's so many different opinions on that, but could that be something that it's depicting there? I don't know. This great. I just think it's awesome because of the name. These are very weird, and I wanted to include them. Chateau, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Mouton Rothschild. Baron Philippine de Rothschild on the bottom. Didn't actually really look into it. Can't tell you if that's associated to what everybody's probably thinking of right now. Have no idea if they are, but they do have a lot of weird bottles. I mean, this is one of them. I mean, who is this? Napoleon's sister over here with her Paulina Bonaparte. That's supposed to be her in her pose. But it's just very weird, showing a boat, water, you got a sun, star, aquatic stuff, female energy, aquatic, the abyss, who knows. And then this next one, I mean, it's like two rams going at it. Aries maybe, who knows. 2012, Rothschild. This one, you got the snake, sun, what does that say? Coco, I don't even know what's going on there. Philippine. Got some weird colors and just some weird stuff on there. That one I figured I would just throw in. Here's another one. 2017. Rothschild. I guess maybe they're getting their wine out of breasts. I don't know. And there's a whole bunch of I don't know if those are words, phrases, a whole lot of writing up in there. Who knows what that could all be about. It's very interesting. Here is another one. It just looks is that the black sun. You almost got Ukraine colors, Ukraine flag in there. Not saying that that's what it is, but I mean, same colors. We got this reminds me of the symbol top of Thoth's head. Could be the opening of the all-seeing eye for all I know, but who knows? But that is the 2009 Rothschild label right there. And then here, I was just showing this again because of one of these shields. I didn't want to show too many of them, but you do get a lot of these that do look like family crests, and maybe it's just a family crest, but I mean, you see a lot of important families that have these things. Very rich, important families. They all have stuff like that. And, again, it's a dragon, a lion. What is that? I can't really tell. But, a lot of type of animal symbolism that you will see multiple times in mystical, occulted type of stuff in books. This is kind of like another one of those, I guess, examples. It's not a crest, but it's definitely, I mean, I don't know what's going on here, but you got like the figure 8 going. Got some weird symbols. Yeah, 2019. You gotta toss that one in there. It's just another one that kind of looks like it just has, weird thing going on here. Is that a flying, dragon, lizard? I don't know, but just interesting. Toss that in there. Here's another one from that guy before that I mentioned that had a bunch on. Again, just like another type of family crest-looking thing. A night checkered floor. Wherever you've seen checkered floors before, female-looking thing. Is that a female on the bottom? I don't know. Just all this weird stuff that, I've seen plenty of times in other places where I think it's being done to mean stuff. Again, another version of if you were to turn this picture upside down, that is kind of like a dragon on the same company again, 2006. Another one of theirs. That one looks like, I guess, flying is a Pegasus or a flying white horse. And then here it looks like you have some sort of angel, maybe Archangel Michael, who knows. Another one with just a weird crest. You got some lion-headed beast-looking thing. Might have a dagger in its hand. I don't know what's going on there. Just, again, another weird symbol on these things. Here's another one. Like, this one was a little bit crisper. You could see a little bit better, I think. Colors are better. A whole lot of different flowers. Again, with the crown. Triangle going up. It's just, a lot of weird stuff. Here again. I mean, this is what is a centaur. I don't know if this person's jumping into the water. Some light coming into a tunnel of water. It's very weird stuff by this company. This one, Artemis. Couldn't leave out Artemis. We gotta throw him in there. Got a deer, antlers. Makes me think the Loyal Order of the Moose. Not that that's a moose, it's a deer. But again, I have seen antlers associated with certain secret societies that really aren't that secret. And if we're going to have Artemis, we might as well throw in some Ishtar. Yeah, that is the same company. Those are two different bottles by the same company, 2017 and 2018. If we're going to have Ishtar, I mean, screw it. Let's throw in some Janus while we're at it. Janus Pinot Grigio. This Janus right here. Then we got Janus Brooks, and even in that one, it looks like it's got almost like an Ouroboros or kind of like a flying beast or flying dragon trying to eat its own tail. Seen that before. I just threw this in new eats, male counterpart, new. At that point, kind of male expansive energy. This might be a grass, but, the blackness would kind of be the form and the shape that the divine feminine is in. And the male expansive energy would be the shit that's coming out of my mouth right now. Voice, sound, projective energy. Could that be new? I have no idea. But made me think that this one I loved. I mean, the hand, the divining rod. Light coming out of some hand with an eyeball on it. Got these rods. I mean, I even wonder, is that supposed to be like the hidden hand maybe? Who knows? This dude, I don't know what's going on here. Guy's got gun, knife, maybe some wine inside that jug, but he's got a goat head. He's got some horns on himself. It was weird regardless, so I just tossed it in there. And then I had to put this one in anyway. And this is something that is on a lot of wine bottles that I noticed. It may not say Eclipse or totally look like Eclipse, but you will see a lot of bottles that if you think Eclipse, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's an Eclipse. You do see that on a lot of bottles. And it is, unfortunately, you can't really see it because of the way the camera is. For returning followers, people who are watching, You've seen me wear this shirt before. It is the Eclipse. I have said that I've seen that in my own magical experiences before I think your pineal gland or all-seeing eye opens up, and then the magic happens. That's just my experience. I have seen that multiple times. So I often wonder, is that what we're looking at when we do see eclipse-type art or stuff that looks like an eclipse? And that wraps it up. I just wanted to toss that one in there at the end because, like I said, there's a lot of those, and I am wearing the shirt, so why not? Again, if this is your first time coming across my show, my channel, this is your first time listening, I do just want to let you know I do have BitChute and I do have a YouTube channel. The links for all of those and the podcasts that I am on are all in the bottom in the show notes. If you are listening, I do have the visuals. Thank you for still listening, considering this episode really is nothing. It's not going to be the same if you're listening. So, yeah, I have BitChute. And I do have YouTube, Rejects and Friends. Check that out. It's a totally different experience. And if you're watching this, I just also want to mention I do have podcasts. Check those out. Those will have a lot more probably than what you're watching it on. If you're watching on YouTube, by far, my podcast will have stuff on here, on it, that this YouTube channel will not have. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. And you can check it out on BitChute, though. BitChute normally isn't a problem. So, yeah, but check out the podcasts if you're watching. You know, there's definitely a lot more on there than YouTube. I also do want to add, I do have a Element server for the Occult Rejects, my show, my co-host from Lux. His show is on there, Lux Rising, the Spiritual Gangsters. That's on there. Other shows, there's multiple rooms on multiple different topics of things and tons of great people on there that all act like adults and all share information and just have some really cool talks and some really, amazing, great people, I would highly suggest to check that out. If you don't want to have to download the app, it is web-based, so check out the web. Everything, all the links to anything you could watch me on visually and anything on podcast, the Element server, all of that is in the bottom in the show notes. Again, if this is your first time listening and you're still listening, go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Even hit that like button if you want. And if you really want to help me out, be solid, share this. If you're a returning listener and you're still listening, that is what's up. Again, thank you very much for returning back to my show. Smash that like and share this. Pass it on to somebody or post it up on social media. For real, that is really the best gift any of my listeners or the people that check out my stuff could do. I love the comments. I love people jumping in on the lives too. But really, sharing this stuff, that is amazing. And I really appreciate it because that's how a lot more people are going to find out about this, in my opinion. These types of shows, I hate to say not shadow banned, it's just they just don't normally come up when you may be looking for this type of thing, or much bigger shows, which may not have the best info on it, seem to come up instead. And that's supposed, when I say shows, I don't mean podcasts, be it programs, whatever. So, share it, please, if you liked it. And that is the end of another NY Patriot episode all by myself. Should be coming out with a few more interesting shorts, some more 17, definitely some more Twin Peaks. So keep an eye out for that. And until the next one, everybody be well and later.